So we are back for F1 Manager. Today we're here at the Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring. Now before we jump into the action, if you haven't seen the previous episode guys, go watch it. It rained, as you can see in the race, a lot. Saturday as well. It was crazy, a dry to wet to dry race, and history was made. It was our home race. It's worth watching, so go check it out, link in the top right before we jump into spoilers right now, so go watch if you haven't done so already. As for this weekend, we're here at Austria, and it's another power circuit, which is fine because we seem to be doing okay in these tracks which don't necessarily suit our low speed car. Now this track is interesting because for the most part it's low downforce, low drag, but there's a couple of slower corners. Turn 1 is medium to lowish speed. Turn 3, turn 4 as well. That's a third of the lap, which is slow corners and straights. So we might suffer a bit in the last sector and a bit in the middle one, but I think the first and half of the second sector should kind of suit our car. So I think it could be a decent weekend for us, especially if we run the newest engine components that we put on in the last race in England. So with that said, let's go to updates for this race weekend. Now we have a development point to spend on Chris Cronin, Sebastian Vettel's race engineer. So we're going to go for feedback +1, which is going to help us, of course, and also that's going to bring up his rank to 81. That's really, really good. So as you can see, feedback, the ability to give and understand feedback on the car setup during practice sessions. A higher rating means quicker feedback on improving the car setup. So that's exactly what we want. Elsewhere, I'm expecting to have a point as well for Ben Mitchell. No, we don't, not quite. So we will just upgrade Chris for now. With that said, we have other news. Now, as you know, we are scouting Felipe Drugovich. And I think the plan here for this one, for me, is going to be we are going to replace Nico Hulkenberg mid-season. We're going to let Hulkenberg go. I've been doing some research. He's not that good. There's no potential, and he's lower rated than Stroll. And he actually crashes as well a fair bit. Like, it doesn't look that great. So we're going to let Hulkenberg go mid-season. We're going to bring Drugovich in as a reserve. We'll let him get some FP1s to really, improve his development, and then hopefully he'll get a race seat for Season 2, unless Stroll turns into God mode in the second half of this season. Now, speaking of Stroll, he got points in the last race. For the first time this season, he got a points finish. And if we look at the standings really quickly, let's have a look. As you can see, if we scroll to the Drivers tab, Stroll and Seb are line astern. Seb with 20 points and Stroll with 8 now to his name. So his first points of the season last time out in Silverstone. But we're looking good. Now we'll see if Stroll can maintain his form. This might decide his fate for next season, but my eye is set on Drugovich, and that is where I'm looking at. So, yeah, we're going to keep Seb as the experienced driver. We need to hopefully negotiate his contract soon. We'll get around to that in a couple of episodes' time. Maybe even possibly end of this one, start the next one, depends how things go. Either way, that's enough waffle for now. Let's get into the race weekend and let's get into race prep.
The battle is surely going to rage this weekend. Welcome to the Green Hills of Austria. The Red Bull Ring hosted its first Grand Prix in 2014, and it's been spectacular ever since. The Red Bull Ring is one hungry beast of a power track. Drivers face a steep climb up to turn 3 and a fast ride downhill through wide corners and straights thereafter. There's plenty of opportunity to overtake here, especially with the help of 3 DRS zones. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Formula One.
Now, one thing I will mention, I forgot to actually do the race prep. I pressed the wrong button, so I don't have any guarantees this weekend. So all we have is incentives. Not that that's really a bad thing, it just means we won't lose any cash unless Seb and Lance get into the points, which is going to be the objective, to get both cars in the points again. So we're going to jump into practice. You can see the weather forecast is dry, no rain forecast for any of the sessions running, so that's good news for us. So let's get into it. We're going to set the cars up and send them out and get FP1 on the way, and hopefully everything goes well. As you guys know, we're going to start running, like we've done in the last episode, old car parts for the engine, the ERS and the gearbox in practice. So we're going to go ahead and change all of those for both drivers. So both cars ready to go. We're going to send them out on the hard tyres, like always, 22 laps of fuel. We've got a preset kind of, untested setup to go with. But as you can see, the car part wear, both cars going out on pretty knackered parts on both machines here. So Yeah, that kind of is going to fall the lap times. We might be down the bottom, but it doesn't really matter. It's about getting that feedback and optimizing the setup.
Okay, it's green now.
Let's see what happened there. Now let's have a look. It's Lance Stroll.
So Lance with a spin, not the best start.
There. That's the spin.
Okay, so Lance has got himself into an early spin, but he's going again. Surprising, really. I mean, it must be just very low track grip because we've got him on, you know, light push and conserve on the engine, so we're not really pushing at all at the moment. I think Seb might have made a mistake.
Taking a look again, it involves Sebastian Vettel. Well, I don't know what they were thinking there. They're completely off the racing line.
So a small moment there for Seb. Both drivers now having a bit of a moment. Although Seb's one was a lot less. Anyway, we're still getting that feedback in. As you can see, we're now pushing with both drivers a little bit to try and, you know, mix things up a little bit and see what their pace is. So far, the field spread's really, really close. I mean, top to bottom at 1.4 seconds. That's pretty insane.
There's been contact and several cars involved.
Oh, the AlphaTauri's off.
Goodness me, that is a serious collision.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, Crofty, but, you know, fair enough. So VSC deployed. We will ignore and keep them both out.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on coming in or doing any more?
Car was good. All good here.
Copy that. Balance check, Lance.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think it's okay.
Okay, so there we go. Decent start. So for Seb, we've made some adjustments. So bad oversteer and braking stability. So some pretty big changes here. Same goes for the traction, which was out of bounds. Cornering I've kept the same as we're already optimal. Straights with a very slight adjustment. I don't think that will go optimal straight away, but if we keep it great, that would be nice. We're going to send them out on soft tyres for this run and 25 laps, essentially running to the very end of the session and not coming back in. Okay, with Lance, I'm pretty happy with this, to be fair. Oversteer bad, so we flipped it to the other side. And then everything that's great has a very small tweak, and then cornering on good has a bit of a bigger adjustment. I think this could actually be very close to optimal. We'll see. I think this hopefully will be around 90% if I'm lucky. Okay, feedback in from Sebastian Vettel, 73%. No radio to follow. Waiting for Lance now to see what he has to say. Hopefully, it's an improvement. I was hoping.
What do you think?
Yeah, good job with the car.
Copy.
I was hoping for a bit more from Seb, but we'll adjust that in FP2. We'll have them just cruise now until their fuel runs out. FP1 finished then. Charles Leclerc setting the pace on the medium tyre. Comfortably quicker than anybody else. Pierre Gasly P4, but with a grid penalty. As for us, we're down in P17 and 19, of course, with our old engine. We finished that run. We had 5 minutes to go. Not enough time to make adjustments to go back out, so we called it a day. Decent first session. We're going to do some more work now, though, in FP2. So we'll try this with Seb. I think this should work pretty well. Oversteer was good, and it was out of, you know, the bracket, so this should be pretty close to great or optimal. Braking stability is great. Small adjustment to optimal. Cornering kept the same. Traction was bad, so we flipped it to the other side. That should do the trick. And straights were on good. This one might go to great. I'm not sure if it'll go optimal, but we're looking much better with this. This should hopefully do the trick. We'll go for a medium tyre, and we'll go for a 25 lap run. We'll go a little bit longer on this first run. Okay, so I've made some adjustments on Lance's car. It's already looking pretty damn sweet, 95%. So we've got a decent high confidence setup to revert to if necessary. Straights are optimal. We've kept that the same. Everything else is getting some small adjustments. Same run plan, medium for 25 laps. Another crash, multiple cars involved. This could be a possible VSC. Ricciardo, Schumacher, Hamilton. Oh dear, Schumacher.
And there's the crash.
Sebastian, any thoughts on setup options?
Well done. Car was great.
Copy.
So Seb's happy with his car. We're going to let him push a little bit now at the end of this stint and just go for a bit of a glory run.
How does it feel?
Car feels great, so Lance is happy with it. Let's finish these runs, bring them back in and make some adjustments. Track conditions also very good now, so good time to get the data. Okay, I'm happy with this. So we've just gone in the other direction basically, so we've got a small adjustment to the left on oversteer, braking stability and cornering, which is the old values you can see on the right, and then also traction is the opposite, so we're going a bit more outside. This should hopefully give us what we want. soft tyres and 25 laps for this next run, same as before. As for Seb, for the most part, I'm very happy with this. There's a bit more of an adjustment than I'd like on braking stability, but straights are going to get an adjustment, and also traction is inside the bracket. I think this could be in the right direction, so let's see if we can try and push this into the 90s before we head into FP3. Soft tyres for Seb, and also a 25 lap run for him as well. Just realised I made a mistake. I didn't save Stroll's tyres, so he's gone back out on a used medium. Still, it doesn't matter. It's all about getting track, acclimatisation, and setup knowledge, so it's not going to matter too much. Just means that we're not going to get to use a set of softs that we're going to have to return anyway.
What's your thoughts on coming in or doing any more?
Car was amazing.
Yep.
I was going to say, we should hopefully get the feedback. Meanwhile, Stroll's struggling with his car.
Copy. How many laps am I going to get on these?
Well, until you give me some feedback on setup, mate, then we can call you in. But yeah, Seb's done. We will coast now to make sure we get as many laps under our belt in the session.
How does it feel, Lance?
I'm happy with the car.
Copy.
Oh yeah, boy. So, optimal both cars in FP2 already. Lovely stuff. Successful FP2 then, as Leclerc keeps the pace up. Gasly, of course, with that penalty. Somehow, Mick Schumacher... Okay, no, he does have a penalty. There we go. I was wondering if he didn't have one, but he does. So, yeah, there's your running order. P17, 18 on the medium tyres. We're now going to move to FP3, and we're going to just try and work on our pace a bit. I mean, we've already got the optimal setups, so that's also a positive. You can see the setup confidence isn't quite 100%, so definitely something we can work on. So we will keep fine-tuning. Worst ways, we can always revert back to that for qualifying. Also want to try and get the performance bonus up, so let's see what we can do.
After a day of free practice yesterday, we wrap up with the third and final session before moving on to qualifying. Each team will be looking to build on the progress they made during yesterday's practice sessions. When it comes to preparation, absolutely nothing should be left to chance. Everything has to be just right. Of course, by the time the cars hit the track, well, there are some things in Formula One that no one can prepare for. So here we are, ready to resume.
I'm happy and confident we might just get optimal here with Seb. I've adjusted the front wing by 1 click. As long as the rear wing doesn't step out of optimal, which I'm worried about at the straights, the rest of it is all in line as we balanced it out with camber. So hopefully this will do the trick. As for Lance, the adjustment has been exactly the same. So great oversteer. I've gone 1 click on front wing higher, stabled it out with some camber and a little bit of toe out as well, as the brake stability was out of whack. Hopefully it should do the trick. Both drivers are going out on softs and they're going out on 25 lap run. Let's see how this goes. Oh, I think Seb's made a mistake at the final corner.
Here's the replay. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin. Goodness me, they're completely off the racing line.
So Seb just out of bounds there, just running a bit wide. Luckily, no big dramas really. So let's keep chipping away. We can see the ERS is playing up. Apparently, according to the team, possible damage. To be expected really. We're going to have these issues in practice, you know, with old parts, but that's the way it goes. Main thing really is having no reliability issues in terms of failure stopping us from running.
What's your thoughts, Sebastian, on coming in or doing any more?
So the setup is still optimal. Seb's still very happy. We'll see what Lance has to say as well. Hopefully it stays the same.
How's the balance?
Yeah, good job with the car.
Yeah, copy.
So we've lost a little bit with Lance. Major gearbox where we might lose it soon. Okay. We will bring them in. I think. Yeah, let's just bring them in. So with Lance, I think because we've lost the straights and we've gone to great, you can see we've got 3 bars here. The green is the perfect one. The one on the right with the empty space in the middle is what we had before, which he's not as happy with. So I've gone to the left, the other way. We'll see if this does any difference. So it looks like Lance could be in trouble here with the gearbox. Major damage. And we're not allowed to confirm the new run plan. Now we have a decision to make with Lance Stroll. He needs a gearbox change, and I've changed the gearbox, as you can see here. So it's got 34% compared to the previous one, which had 21%. This gearbox is now essentially finished, so we've lost that one now. It was stopping me from going out. It said damage. So yeah, the issue is time conflict. We're not going to have time to get the change and send him back out. So Lance, he's done now for practice. As for the setup, I've made some adjustments. I could take a risk. I am going to commit. I'm going to stick with the changes and hope it works out. So you can see here the green bar is his highest confidence setup. The one on the right is the one we just tried, and his confidence actually dropped to great because we also lost the straights, which were optimal. We've lost them to great as well. So I'm going to send it in the other direction, to the left a little bit, as you can see the grey bar here, and that might give us optimal. I'm going to take this risk and see if it pays off for the weekend, because why not? As for Seb, we have managed to correct the oversteer and we now have a flawless setup. So happy days all round, really. We're going to send him back out on that same set of tyres, and we're just going to rack up track acclimatization. Really, that's what we're looking for, though he already has 100%, so we could actually just save the car, really. And then we have FP3 in the books. Leclerc keeps up his pace. Gasly in the top 5 again. Further down, we finish in the last 2 places, bottom of the table, but we now get to put on our fresh power unit from the last race, so that should give us a pretty significant boost. I also haven't really ran any super high engine modes or gone for any proper laps this weekend, so now we're now going to see our true pace. Now, unfortunately, because of Lance missing that final run, we're going to miss out on potentially 15 out of 15 on performance bonuses and also 100% track acclimatization. Seb, though, looking dialed in, ready to go for the second weekend in a row. It's a flawless score from him. We're now going to put on the new engine parts and send it into qualifying. Here we go then, both drivers ready to go. You can see both on 2 flying laps, and that's for their engine. You can see 96% engine, 89% ERS, 73% gearbox. Lance on a 94% gearbox, so we're saving Seb's final fresh gearbox for later on this season. But yeah, both cars ready to go for qualifying. Let's get into it. Right then, so both cars on 2 lap runs. I should have actually gone for 3, to be fair. Tyre wear is pretty low. You can definitely push them. Also, that AR seemed to be pretty decent on old tyres. First lap in though from Lance. Seb goes about 10.5 quicker, so they're now going to head on to their cool-off runs and try again. A little bit behind Magnussen here. That could be our target, at least with Seb, to try and get the edge on him. On to our second lap now, though. Let's see if it's an improvement. The second lap is usually a lot better. Seb's responding. Lance had a bit of traffic. Seb does improve. Lance does not. Let's go for the second lap then, and let's see if we can do a better second run. Now, time for the second run. I've actually gone back out on the exact same set of tyres. This time they're just fueled for 1 single lap. We're going to see, because the track's quite empty, so they should have some clear track. And you can see Lance is improving in the middle sector, and he does improve by nearly a 10th. As for Seb, he does not improve. That's a shame. But still, Lance setting a better lap. We'll now bring them in, put them on a fresh set, and go for a final attempt. Okay, so we're sending them out now with 1 minute 30 to go. They're going to be behind Schumacher. Magnussen is going to be the last car out on track. They might get in their way a little bit, or in each other's way a little bit. About 15 seconds to the good on the Delta. It's going to be close, but I mean, if Magnussen's gone out this late, I think we should be okay. We're just going to start the lap in time. Literally, I think Magnussen missed a line. No, he didn't. Right, he made it somehow. Fair enough. Anyway, let's enjoy these laps from on board, shall we? I was rushing to get up to the line. Lance, personal best first sector. Seb down a little bit. As you can see, they're both trailing. Seb getting a bit of a tow from his teammate. Sector 2, this is why I'm expecting Seb to pull it back a bit compared to Lance. Neither driver, they're going for a personal best. Seb safer now. Lance in the drop zone. Let's see. Up to the line. What is it going to be? Stroll. Oh, he's just out. Seb is in, but we lose one of our cars by 4,000th of a second. So confirmation, Lance out. Bit of a shame. In hindsight, I wish I should have put Seb in front of Lance. Maybe that slipstream might have made a difference, but you can see 4,000ths we just miss out, which is a real shame. Schumacher out though, and with that penalty we'll start from the back. Ricciardo out, both Williams out. As for Seb, there's generally not a lot of improvement in qualifying, so this is his pace. I think there's quite a bit of a gap to Russell. Magnussen seems to have about a 10th over us right now, so I think P14 is the best we can really hope for in Q2 with Seb. So Seb is on the same tyres that he used to get through. So it is a used set. He's on a 2-lap run, 2 flying laps, to try and have a few more attempts and to hopefully, you know, scrub the track in a little bit. So first lap on the board, it's 1 minute 5.1. He's 8/10 off the pace. Ahead of Russell on his first run. Let's see what the second lap brings, as he might get stuck behind Gasly. I think Gasly's on a lap, so that's going to help us out. Cross the line, second lap, and it's not an improvement. It was a personal best final sector, but it wasn't faster, so there we go. Seb has finished his runs. We're now going to get him ready for the final attempt. So hopefully Seb will make it. 8 seconds to go. Yeah, he will. Okay, lovely stuff. Here we go then. Last attempt in qualifying. Let's watch the lap in full, and let's enjoy it. So through turn 1. Checkered flag now out. Bottas has set his lap, I think, and I don't think he went back out actually. It said Bottas is out in P15. For some reason he hasn't gone back out, so that's going to be a free position for us to gain. Russell improves, but only to P11, so he's out of qualifying. He's only less than a tenth quicker than us, to be fair. Seb on to a personal best in the first sector. Let's see if we can out-qualify both Alfa Romeos here in this qualifying session. Sector 2, if it's green, I'm going to feel pretty optimistic. Let's hope it is a personal best. As more cars cross the line. Leclerc moving the goalpost with 1 minute 3.9. Sector 2 isn't a personal best. Zhou has finished, also has not improved. So we are P13 at minimum. Magnussen improves by 100th. Could we leapfrog Magnussen and possibly Russell? It's going to require a massive final sector. Not expecting it, but let's see if Seb pulls off the miracle. Does improve by literally less than 100th. So there we go, P13. Confirmation, Seb out in Q2. Was hoping for a bit more, you know, in terms of improvement in pace, but to be fair, it wasn't too bad. I mean, he found 3/10, sorry, compared to Q1, which is quite a big improvement, you know, for F1 Manager. Crucially though, we out-qualified both Alfa Romeos. Bottas having an issue in Q2 and not going out for a second run. So yeah, happy days, and to be fair, less than a tenth off P11. Russell struggling for pace in the Mercedes. So yeah, overall, very happy. Q3 out the question. We was 3/10 away, 2/10 away. So yeah, into the race we go, and hopefully let's try and get some more points. So for the race, both drivers are going to be on inverted strategies. So we're going to start on the hard tyre with Seb. He's got better pace generally and is the better option if I want to try something different with the strategy in terms of starting on a slower tyre and trying to go longer. Lance is a bit more off the pace, not a million miles away to be fair. He's much closer this weekend and has been continuing his good form. So I want him to start in mediums because he's starting a bit further back. So I want him to try and fight forward, gain a few places early on and get into the mix really. That's kind of the thing with Lance. If he doesn't get into the mix early on, he drifts off. So we need to get him in the race. Like in Silverstone, once he's in the race, he stays there. But if we don't get him in there, he struggles. As for, you know, pace and what we're looking for here, we're going to go pretty aggressive with Lance early on. I want to make some progress with him, so we will go overtake and full push. As for Seb, I'll go aggressive and I'll go defend with him, and we'll go aggressive, a little bit less on the tyres. But we're ready to go. Let's get into the race.
We have beautiful blue skies overhead as the drivers line up on the grid. And there's Sebastian Vettel. With their starting position in the back 10, they'll have their work cut out for them. There's Lance Stroll, down the grid. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. Will their hard work pay off today? It's the race we've all been waiting for. It's the Austrian Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go.
Right, lights out. Seb off to a decent start on the hard tyre. Lance also off to a decent start as he's going to go to the outside of Bottas straight away here. Zhou has taken Seb as one of the cars are off. That was Magnussen who ran wide. So both cars are up.
Good job.
Up towards turn number 3 then. So Seb on the outside. We will try to get some moves done here as we're looking pretty decent.
Good job.
Seb clears Russell and now Stroll. Can he get George Russell here? Seb still going. He's now looking to get back past Zhou. This is important as it's on the same compound.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see. Seb around the outside of Zhou Guanyu and gets it done. You can see we've got a lot of hard tyre runners actually.
That's it.
So that's interesting. It could be quite important that we get Seb onto the back of Norris, who's on the hard tyre. As for Stroll,
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
chasing down Russell.
Let's see what happened there. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin.
Lovely stuff from Sebastian Vettel there, around the outside. Love to see it. We may as well try and get Stroll and also try and get Zhou if we can. Another Haas off at turn 1. This time it's Mick Schumacher who's locked up. Come on, Stroll.
I think there's been a lock-up.
Up the inside. Yes, Lance. Come on, son. Let's go. Right, move done. So now Lance on to Zhou. Let's see if he can get him. Seb chilling
Looks
behind.
like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
And there goes Stroll. Is he going to get Zhou? Yes. Lovely. So Stroll through. So we have the cars in prime positions here. Important now that we play the tyre life game a little bit. Hopefully Stroll doesn't drop out of DRS range. Oh my god, what the hell has happened there? Somehow... What? Somehow we're alive and both cars didn't kill each other. Well, that's a bit of a bug. Anyway, luckily that's a miracle. We've got no damage there. We've managed to successfully flip the cars with minimal time loss, and Seb has 2 seconds over Zhou, so that's worked out wonderfully. Okay, so now they're going for the move on Ocon. Ocon on mediums. Oh, crash. And safety car. Red flag. Oh my god. Wait a minute.
Let's take a closer look.
What? This was the battle. Zhou, Bottas, Russell. Oh,
That's
big.
contact there. Now let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved in this one.
That's a massive shunt. So we have a red flag for the first time ever. I don't know what to do. We have Stroll P10, Seb P11. So we're on the cusp of points. To be fair, Ocon, Tsunoda were battling. Stroll was looking to get past them both. I think P8 is definitely possible this race, but obviously now the race is going to restart, and we're going to restart in these higher positions. So let's see what happens. First of all, though, let's deal with this. So, red flag active, session suspended. Teams can make limited changes to their cars before the session restarts and may not serve penalties. 10 minutes until session restart. None of the drivers have retired. As you can see, they're both still in the race. Do we change anything? This is the thing. We have a chance. It's a bit more complicated with Seb because he's on the hard tyre. But to be fair, we could put him on mediums now and then go back to the hard tyre, or go for 2 sets of mediums or even a set of softs. We'll go mediums with Seb. As for Lance, the hard tyre does 84 laps. Do I dare and try and go to the end? No, we're not. We're going to go for mediums. We're going to play it safe. We've got the pace, so we're going to go medium and then soft in this race. That's going to be the plan for this restart.
We are all set and ready once more. And it's lights out and away we go.
Come on.
Yeah.
I just realised their engine modes are low. That isn't good.
You can stop, lift and coast.
Copy.
So Stroll getting Tsunoda straight away. Not ideal, but we don't have battery recharge. I thought we would have recharged the battery.
This is good. Come on.
Anyway, up to turn 3. It's sort of getting a bit dicey as we've now got both cars in the points, which is really, really good. I'm just going to go neutral.
Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
We'll go neutral. Actually, I'll even try and harvest a little bit if I can, as we're low on battery. Keep an eye on the deltas. Uh-oh, there's been another kerfuffle there. That corner's a bit buggy.
Now let's have a look. It's Lance Stroll.
Yeah, that corner's broken. Not ideal at all. Anyway, we've got past. You win some, you lose some. Crucially, we've gained with Stroll. Now, I'm going to be patient here. We're trying to harvest, so it's important that we stick to it for a bit. Although Seb is getting caught while the car's behind, I don't like that, so we're going to make him push. Same goes for Lance.
That's a good overtake from Alpine.
Another one.
Let's have a
Oh,
look. Now have a watch of this. Looks like Ocon.
Well, anyway, Ocon get past Stroll, but we just saw Norris at turn 3. So there goes Ocon. But we just saw Norris parked at turn 3, so that might be a safety car.
Collision. Here's the replay. Watch this. We're looking at Lando Norris.
So Lando behind Fernando. Oh my God, Alonso.
That is a serious collision.
So that's 2 cars out. Although Alonso has got going again. Alonso in the pit lane. That could be damage, who knows. That's a very early stop. So up to P7 and P9 now. We can't catch up with Seb. I'm just going to go standard mode. I'm not going to try and rush it. Meanwhile, Stroll looking for a move on Ocon and defending from Tsunoda at the same time. He's still harvesting battery, by the way. So Lance doing a good job. So far, it's his race. So let's run with it. This battle's still going on, though. This is a great scrap, to be fair, for P6. And Hamilton isn't really that far ahead. I mean, I think he's catchable, or reachable, more like. Let's see. Stroll's had a bit of a shocking lap here. He's going to drop out of DRS range, which isn't good. But yeah, Hamilton's not a million miles away. We could potentially race after him in this race. Seb now struggling to really hang on here. Out of battery as well, which doesn't help. There's definitely not as much of a difference with engine modes in this track compared to other tracks. It's harder to catch. Come on, Stroll. Get after Ocon. Okay, we've got DRS. That's all we want. That's all we need. Lovely. There we go. We're back. Oh, Tsunoda back through. Up the inside. This is a great scrap. It's really not stopping. It's going to continue this whole race. It is allowing Hamilton to get away, but it is what it is. Stroll there getting the short straw and losing time. Putting Seb to push now because cars behind are starting to catch. So I want him to try and crack on here. We've got another set of mediums if we need them. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to put Stroll on full saving mode. Let Seb catch him. And then I'm going to try and have them work together. I'm telling Seb to not fight teammate. And the instruction just come through in time. But cars behind are getting close. That's really slow, my God. Why is Seb so slow? That instruction is just way too slow. I've completely messed it up by doing that. That was not ideal. We're falling into a different race here. I've managed this terribly. Although we are lacking a bit of pace by the looks of it. Especially in ERS, I can't seem to manage it that well. We're struggling compared to other cars. Right, come on, Seb. We've got to try and hold on here, son. Nope. Joe through easily. Come on, get him back. Get him back straight away. Waste no time. There we go. Lovely. Because of the triple DRS zone, it's hard to get them to just follow or behave. They just constantly keep swapping places, which is costing time. But anyway, we're chilling right now. We're still in the points. That's what matters. So we've just got to try and manage it. Here comes Seb. And you can see the cavalry behind. I'm very worried about getting rear-ended. Like, you have seen this race twice already. It does scare me. It does worry me. Turn 3 is not a good corner. Seb's dropping back here. We've got to push a little bit. Oh no. Stroll's off. Mistake from Lance. Okay, now to be fair,
Who's running wide there?
this isn't the worst thing that can happen.
Pushing now.
Let's go standard modes and let's just see what happens. I'm going to harvest some battery. Hopefully we can save a bit. But this is the bad scrap. We need to get out of this. I don't like the look of this one bit. There goes Gasly past Stroll. He does have a pen though, wherever that might be. So Seb is 1.5 ahead of Gasly here. I think my plan is to put Seb onto another medium and pit early. And try and, you know, play the long game. As for Lance, we're going to have to get scrappy and get ugly, I think. I want to split the strategy so that we're not on the same part of the racetrack anymore. So I've got Lance saving tyres to go longer, as you can see. But Seb, the minute we get caught, we're going to box. I'm going to push a little bit here to try and keep cars away for as long as possible. But I think Gasly has got DRS. Once you get DRS, especially this straight here up to turn 3, it's ridiculous how powerful it is. So yeah, the DRS train reforms. We don't have the pace state, and that's just the reality as Gasly goes through. Could be a chance here to actually harvest a bit of battery with Sebastian Vettel. Does he have DRS? No, he doesn't. Seb's dropped out of range. We'll let him just follow Zhou. Zhou should hopefully catch up to Pierre.
A position gained for Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, the pace ain't there, man. At all. All of a sudden, the double points finish is looking a bit more complicated. I'm not going to lie. How many laps have we got left? 34 laps. We need to go a bit longer.
Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
Lap 40 would be ideal. Or lap 42 maybe, something like that. Now this is a battle for P9, P10 this race. Gasly now 4 seconds ahead as Seb and Stroll keep swapping places. I've got them pushing a bit on fuel, as especially Stroll has a bit of fuel to burn, so I'll put Seb unbalanced, and then if Stroll gets by, we'll let Stroll kind of take the reins a bit for a lap or so. But this is okay. The longer we stay here, the better. We're starting to just drop the cars behind a bit as well, which is... I like that, to be fair, but they just kind of catch back up in DRS, which is quite frustrating. I think the pace is there, but we're lacking a bit in the straight line speed department. Right, I think I've paused the sim. I'm going to make some strategy decisions here. So, we're going to pit with Seb this lap. That should cause a breakaway in the train. Stroll, we're going to put him to full push. He will pit the next lap. As for Seb, he's going to try and hold the pack a little bit up before he pits here. So, let's see. Does he pit? Yes, he does.
Pit lane.
So, Seb in, and I believe...
So, Sebastian, make sure you get your pit limiter as you come in the pit lane.
Okay, I don't think... Have we got the gap with Stroll? No, we don't, but let's try and stay in front. I should have done that a little bit earlier, to be fair. But anyway, Stroll getting his his race pace definitely up, improving overall the last couple of races. Seb out, Stroll still in front. We're now going to have Stroll pit this lap. So we don't have any fresh mediums. They're a bit more worn. To be fair, I might actually go a lap or two more because of that. I didn't realise they didn't have a fresh set. We'll go a lap more with Stroll and see if we can hold on. Seb pushing here, currently getting lapped by the front runners, who I believe are yet to pit. They've got to stop again, but this is holding Seb's progress. I'll try and put him in standard and see if you can just follow them for now. Meanwhile, you can see Stroll there getting overtaken by Zhou, and Russell getting in on the action. As for Seb, he has just passed Alonso.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position. We can take a look now.
So here's the replay.
This was the Aston Martin.
Alonso letting the faster cars by and Seb just swooping through. 200 IQ for Sebastian Vettel there in the race. But yeah, he's just chilling now. I will go a bit more aggressive with Seb and try and hang on to some DRS on the cars ahead if possible. Or not, never mind. Okay, we'll go for a bit of conserving. We'll try and follow Fernando. Strolling out the back of the queue. And actually, we're going to pit him this lap. But as I was saying, we're going to try and now recharge everything with Seb and save some tyres for the end of the race. Stroll now, you can see his tyres are knackered, so in you come, mate. You're going to go full push on these used mediums. We will conserve everything with Stroll, and let's see how this goes. So, yeah, let's bring Stroll into the pit lane. I think we can get points, but we've got to be a bit smart how we manage it. Can't forget about Alonso being a factor here. But Stroll into the pit lane. In for his stop. Let's hope there's a nice quick one. 2.7 would be nice. That's 2.8. That's okay. That's not too bad. There's Seb, you can see. So the difference in gap is quite a big one, to be fair. About 4 seconds, maybe? 5 seconds? Yeah, there we go. Stroll will go just standard modes for now. We're not going to push his tyres too hard. We're going to try and, be there at the end of the race on tyres. That's the plan.
Here's the replay. Taking a look again, it involves Sebastian Vettel.
These two are still going at it. Seb has now recharged his battery. But yeah, there is Schumacher. You can see Stroll behind him, which isn't ideal. We're looking okay at the moment. We're looking okay. Patience is key. Still no pit stops from the AI. Surely they're not going to the end. If they are going to the end, then we're going to just push them like crazy and we should hopefully catch on tyres. Not sure about Stroll, but we'll definitely catch with Seb. Okay, now this is the battle. Russell P9, you can see him on the map there. Seb now more or less on the same straight, catching up gradually. Stroll also making progress. I'm starting to think they're not going to pit. I'll be shocked. Albon's on 23% mediums. Magnussen's on 20%. Okay, and Sainz is in, so that could be the start of the pit stops here. Magnussen pits. There we go. So Seb's comfortably out ahead, and we've got a massive gap. The AI have come in really late. We'll see if any more AI cars pit, but we're looking pretty good right now, entering the final 10 laps, getting close to the final 10 laps. Stroll also ahead of Magnussen, to be fair. That's good to see. Verstappen pits, Schumacher pits. For Stroll, it's time to push a little bit. I want to try and keep Magnussen at bay for as long as possible. So let's let Stroll do his thing and push a little bit. He's got slightly better tyres than Seb, so we can afford to let Stroll catch up to Seb's tyre wear. Elsewhere, Albon pits, Zhou pits, so Vettel up to P11. Russell and Ricciardo yet to stop. Ocon, Tsunoda, I believe, have to stop as well. Seb's still doing his thing. We're going to try and get him ahead of Alonso at the end of the race. You can see we've got 26% more tyres than Alonso. But Seb has just made a mistake at turn 1, which is a costly error. Not ideal. We're going to go flat out and try and catch back up to Alonso here. That's the plan. Tyres aren't as fresh anymore, but we'll try anyway. Both cars working together now to try and catch up to Fernando. I'm starting to think points might be out of the question altogether here. Russell has to stop, I think. I mean, he's on hard tyres, so maybe not. He's going to go to the end, which is pretty insane. Seb has been lapped, and that has cost him time. The red flag has not done us a favour, and we lost the hard tyres. I should have gone with the hard to Stroll. I went against that decision at the start and on the restart. That was the play. Hard tyres to the end of the Stroll. So Stroll has had to let one of the Red Bulls pass, which isn't ideal. I think yeah, okay, there we go. He's just passed Alonso thanks to Verstappen. So it's not fully game over yet. So Seb closing in on Fernando. Heading on to the last lap of the race. Could be a last lap pass here. DRS. Here we go. Sebastian Vettel looking for the move. Maybe. No, not quite. Maybe here though. Not a good exit. Go on Seb, let's go for it. Lovely. So there's Stroll. Seb now getting past Alonso, but that is going to be it for this race. And there's going to be no points for us. There we go then. So Seb is going to finish behind Stroll. Stroll put in a big shift here today. Fair play, Lance. Well done, mate. Excellent job. But there we have it. Both cars done. It says Stroll car retired. Possible failure? Surely not. So Stroll did indeed DNF. Something happened. We might have lost an engine component. Charles Leclerc though wins the race. Verstappen third with the fastest lap. There's your final running order. The worst news today is that Tsunoda and Gasly finished P5 and P6. AlphaTauri was super strong here this weekend. Seems like low downforce, low drag seems to suit their car. For us though, P11 with Seb. No points for us today, which is a real shame considering P6 at one point was possible. But yeah, further down, Stroll out. What I don't get is he's behind Bottas. I think it's a glitch. It's got to be a glitch, surely. Hopefully it's a glitch and he hasn't actually lost any engine parts. Anyway, driver standings. Tsunoda now splits us. As you can see, he's got himself between Seb and Lance, so fair play, Yuki, mate. You've done a good job there. Constructors, AlphaTauri overtake Alfa Romeo, and that is big. So, yeah, that might just kind of make us lean towards, locking up P7. But McLaren did score a point today, but still we've got a 21-point cushion over them. But yeah, we'll keep pushing, we'll keep trying, we'll see what happens. Either way, there's your lot. As for race bonuses, Seb scores, to be fair, decent points and gets a development point. Lance gets one as well, but got screwed there with his points total because he did finish the race, so that's really unfortunate. Anyway, there's your lot. Job done. Finally, as you can see, 5 million, no outgoings, so there was no bonuses for points finishes and no guarantees. So we have an email and it's red, which requires a response. This is urgent. F1 in schools invitation. Okay, this is new, this is different. This is something we've not had before. Our annual Aramco F1 Schools World Finals is starting with the aim to spread awareness about careers in science and engineering through the magnetic appeal of Formula 1. We know that this is a busy time on your end, but events like this are fantastic opportunities to inspire the next generation of engineering talent in the sport. Your staff could make a real difference. We have already corresponded with your board of directors and they are in full support of your team's participation. They will be willing to provide a complimentary bonus payment to make up for the disruption to your staff. I don't mind that. It's only 7 days. That's okay. I don't mind that. Elsewhere, post-race debrief. So, braking, Lance needs to improve. We know that already. That's a constant. And the medium speed cornering with Seb. That's, same old story really. As for the board, they're still happy. Their confidence has grown. So, yeah, we've got that board review very soon. Here's the summary of the race, which of course we already know what happened. Ben Mitchell has low morale. That's, I believe, Lance's engineer, which isn't great. We'll try and work on that. Also, T. Chuang, the technical chief, has low morale. We will see what we can do. There's more emails though. Lance Stroll also low morale. Regulation vote. As you know, we may change the regulations that define Formula 1's rules between seasons to make the sport fairer for competitors and more engaging for fans. With these goals in mind, we are proposing new sporting regulations for the 2023 season. Good competition at the heart. So, good competition is at the heart of Formula. Good competition is at the heart of Formula 1 to promote greater equality in the sport. We propose that all teams receive the same wind tunnel and CF. Good competition is at the heart of Formula 1 to promote greater equality in the sport. We propose that all teams receive the same wind tunnel and CFD testing time limits. This is a significant regulation change, so please review the summary below and respond as soon as possible. Yes, let's go for it. Because if we have a good off-season and our car's good next year, that will benefit us. The helipad is in poor condition, apparently. Very specific request, but we will have a look at these now. We've got cash to spend, to be fair, so we might have a little look at the overall, investments into the team and just staff and just general facilities. So we have a refurbish for the helipad or an upgrade. What does it really improve? Sponsor target payouts by 1% and team attractiveness. It's not too shabby. Let's go for it. 360k. Why not? And that would also count as a refurbishment. Memorabilia, not really, massive. But we could build one to be fair and get one going. If it includes the memorabilia of past F1 teams, not just Aston Martin. We will go for one of those. Weather Center. That's big, to be fair. That could help us out for wet races. Hospitality area as well to improve team morale. This is all really important, to be fair. Boardroom, again, we want to come across professional. You can see the confidence is going to go up 5%, and also team attractiveness will also keep going up, so we will go ahead and bring those up. Tour Center. It's going to help fan appeal. Weekly income also goes up. And it does also pay for the monthly upkeep, to be fair, so it kind of pays for itself. So we'll upgrade all of these, why not? Still got plenty of cash to spend. We're going to improve the team hub, help the team out. Scouting department. We're okay for that now. Race sim. Let's go for an upgrade on that. Let's improve the facilities. And then as for these, the factory's on the way. We'll leave it at that for now. We'll invest in these down the line at some point, but I don't want to spend all my cash. Now, with that said, we have a development point to spend, so we're going to do it on both drivers. First of all, Sebastian Vettel. Looking at these. I feel like cornering still needs work, so we'll go for cornering with Sebastian. As for Lance, braking, of course, that's a weakness for him, so we'll bring that up. Now, as you can see, I'm considering doing Seb's contract again. I kind of want to put my mind at ease with this. So, even though he made a mistake, I genuinely have confidence in his performances. You can see this is the previous offer that we made for him. This is his current contract. So, what I'll do is, let's see what Seb has to say about this. Okay, we're going to get one more chance here. Does he want a 3-year deal? If he wants a 3-year deal, we will cut down on the cost a little bit. If Seb wants a 3-year deal, I will increase the threshold to P7. Let's see. Oh, come on, Seb. What do you want? Better. What do you want for a 4-year deal? Anyway, he doesn't want to negotiate anymore, so we've messed it up again. We'll have to wait to see if he comes back to us. I can't give him a 4-year deal. Seb's forcing my hand here. So Pierre Gasly scouting finished. This is interesting. I feel like everyone's going for Pierre Gasly, but at the same time, if Seb's going to play hardball on the contract, it could be worth reconsidering our entire lineup. Helipad has now been fixed, and also regulation change has come through. There's the spare suspension. Let's see what the update is regarding the regulations. So the majority are for these changes. Most teams voted for these, as you can see. So as you can see, the testing is the same for everybody. Then it starts to obviously, it's a bit more for those in the bottom half of the table, but if you're in the top 4, doesn't really make a difference. You're still okay, and it's not a massive difference. But there we go. It's a bit more in line, a bit more equal now. Up and coming driver, Mr. Terrible Chair. This is an interesting one. I think I don't mind having a look at Terrible Chair, to be fair. So we will go ahead and scout him. Why not? The more drivers we scout, the more we'll know, where we stand. So Terrible Chair, detailed scouting for 30 days. I think we've got one more chance to offer Seb a contract. I don't know how the game works. I don't know if the drivers give you like an early notice that they're leaving the team, or maybe they get signed on by somebody else, or whether they announce retirement. So far, Seb's not going anywhere. He's still here. I want to keep him, but I can't offer him like a 4-year deal. Can I? I did remember seeing in the preview build of this game, there were a lot of 40-year-old drivers still driving. So maybe we just give him a 4-year deal, and then worst ways we break the contract in a couple of years' time. Either way, we've got to try and build up that morale, that confidence to kind of renegotiate the contract. So until then, we're just going to crack on. So the next race is France, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more. And yeah, we move into the halfway point of the season and looking for more points as we head to a circuit which I don't think will really suit our car, except for the slow bit in the first sector. Besides that, it's going to be a tricky one for us, I think. So we're going to have to try and do our best. I am considering taking a possible engine penalty at this race, but we'll see how that goes. Either way, guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. As always, a massive shout out to the members for supporting the content, and finally check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, and that's goodbye from me.